Hello everybody! The Vtubing community is absolutely raging over Pokimane's recent announcement. Some feel that this is due to clout chasing the recently popular debuted English Hololive VTubers. Some feel she's taking away from the hard work a small niche community has built, and all of that delicious hoopla. What you guys may not have known is I'm in this community, and I have a couple of opinions. I am both a VTuber, which I will show you my avatar, and I'm also drawing a VTuber in today's speedpaint. I've got some things to say and some misconceptions to clear. So today I invite you buns down the rabbit hole on some VTube community drama. So, there's a lot of explaining to do for those of you who have no idea what VTubing even is in the first place, and I will get there. But before getting into that, I gotta take a second as I haven't uploaded in a few weeks. First of all, holy crap you guys, thank you so much for 50,000 subscribers. That maybe still is a small number, but it's huge to me, and I'm incredibly thankful. I want to apologize also for a little dip in uploading content. As many of you already know, I've been changing things up and went through a bit of a meaty life change. Prior to COVID, I had a full-time job, and all of my art and video work were just side projects. I've since made the difficult decision, that it was time to make art my full-time job. It's very scary, but I guess at the same time also, it can be very rewarding. So I want to guarantee you guys one video a week on the weekends. Sometimes the topics can be a bit risque, so they might not get monetized. So if you want to continue to support the channel, I have Patreon, commissions reopened, now with live 2D VTuber commissions, and all of that hoopla, which will be linked below. I'll move on to the video topic. I apologize. I'll give more deets at the end of the video for those interested in that, but in the meantime, let's get into the meat of today's video. For those of you unaware, Pokimane is a particularly big streamer on the Twitch platform. She has been pretty heavily criticized before, especially because of her simps, or supposedly not having a personality or talents. Supposedly. Well, regardless, she took a month break to get away from it all, then returned with a surprise, a VTuber avatar. This got a very interesting interaction from the VTubing community. So she announced this with a Twitter post that includes a clip of her avatar, as I showed in the beginning of the video. Twitter VTubers and fans of VTubing are not super happy about it. VTuber Athena Bambita tweeted, "You are cashing in on a trend. You are already famous and have showed your face. Why now? We work our hearts out. There's so many small VTubers that deserve recognition. You are hopping on a trend and saturating it more. How dare you?" In replies of another tweet, she also said, "Hololive English just debuted. Seemed like she hopped on it as a trend. Also, I mean this as politely as possible, but hopped is with 2 P's, not one. That says hope, sweetie." It do be like that though. This was followed by this reply to someone else. "Not all exposure is good exposure, and you should view my points where she's obviously doing it for clout, cause Hololive English came out yesterday. Most people in my circle do not want normies in the community." That's a yikes. These tweets, among many more salty takes, came in response to Pokimane's VTuber debut. Some are mad because she's already shown her face and is known for her face. Others are mad because her VTuber avatar is just a plain version of herself. Some are mad because they don't want her and her fan base tainting, quote unquote, the community. Some are mad because they think she's only hopping onto the trend, like said before, because VTubers are gaining a lot of traction. Some think she's doing it just to get a taste of the delicious super chat simp bucks. Let's talk about all these things in all seriousness. So for those of you watching who don't know what a VTuber even is, let's take a moment to get an understanding. A VTuber is a term used for virtual YouTubers. This isn't exclusive to just YouTube though, as some people will stream on Twitch, as you've seen, and other platforms. These are personalities who stream or make videos using some sort of virtual avatar, whether it's a 3D motion captured character or a 2D motion captured character. I myself use 2D as I prefer the look, and I'm also an artist who draws and is rigging these characters. This current model I drew and rigged myself, but I am actually commissioning someone who is way more experienced than myself to rig an even better version of it, which I am excited to show, but that will be in December. Speaking of which, a lot, if not most of these avatars are characters that these people have to commission to get done. These models take a long amount of time, and we're talking like a month, 2 months, or even more. Really good, well-known riggers sometimes have their entire year's worth of commissions filled up by spring or even earlier. These things take time, unfortunately, and they're also very expensive. The cheapest figures I've seen for these commissions have been $250 US for the bare minimum, ranging up to 4-digit numbers. These are expensive and they take a long time to complete. This means the person behind the avatar may have put in a lot of time or a lot of money or both for the VTuber persona that you see. What should be mentioned is that VTubing has become increasingly popular in the last couple of years. A company known as Cover Corp in Japan had launched a VTubing company called Hololive, where they audition or scout various personalities, giving them models, resources such as the programs and the phones who stream onto YouTube. This has become an increasingly successful tenure, with some streamers making over 100,000 USD in super chats in a month alone. You may have heard of Hololive EN in comments and arguments regarding Pokimane. Reason being that right around Pokimane's debut, Hololive's first set of English-speaking VTubers just debuted. They have been doing insanely well, with their streams getting over 100k views in less than 24 hours. Some of their streams get up to 50,000 viewers at a time, surpassing their even more popular Japanese seniors. It's due to this crazy success and growth of VTubers in general that people are assuming Poki is hopping onto a trend. One big part of VTubing is generally the people behind the avatars are playing a character. Their identity isn't known, and they put their all into essentially voice acting and playing this character, who is playing games or doing what have you for an extended period of time. This is big with Hololive, or the girls streaming are playing heavily into their character. Some have catchphrases or certain personalities that reflect the character that they are portraying. This is partially why some people are mad at Pokimane, because she's completely skipping over that process of essentially learning and putting on a new personality that you have to work hard on. She's just being herself. The thing is though, you don't have to be a completely new and different character to be a VTuber. A VTuber can be anyone. Long before the Hololive trend, people have had avatars reflecting themselves or whatever else under the sun that they want. Really doesn't largely matter. People are also mad at the fact that her model looks too simple or boring. Someone on Twitter made this post, which I'll admit is a little funny. Taking no damn streams to the next level, debuting VTuber Pokimane, the exact quote on her debut tweet. And it's the default female me character from the Nintendo Wii. A lot of VTuber avatars have complex designs, and a lot goes into them. They tend to be quite a bit of work to make. I mean, in some ways it feels like a bunch of people trying to slap on as much cute or interesting things onto the design as possible, overcrowding it to hell and back to be able to stand out more. That can actually be a smidge annoying. Sometimes less is more, guys. Truly. People were really roasting her model though, saying it's ugly or lazily made, looking rushed, etc. The artist, Teru Pancake, had this to say in the comments section of another video regarding the Pokimane controversy. I'm the one who made Pokimane's model. It's very disheartening to see so many people saying the model looks cheap and that it was rushed in a day. I can confirm that I worked on it for over a month, and one of the reasons it took me so long is that my previous laptop was old and would randomly freeze or crash. Despite knowing this, Poki still went ahead and commissioned me and actually helped me fund the remaining amount I needed to buy a new laptop on top of the original quote I gave her for the commission. I decided to wait until my new laptop arrived to finish the model, but otherwise I would have been done way before Hololive EN was announced. She reached out to support smaller creators, even though she can afford a high-end model like Product Melody or similar. But in the end, that ended up being another thing for people to hate on her and insult her. Let's also talk about the whole debuting around when Hololive EN did. Auditions for the English Hololive applications closed back in May, and they debuted less than a week ago here in September. This means that the company had about 5 months to interview, process all of those applications, and make and rig the avatars of 5 characters. This is a company with a full financial resources to make this happen, and it took 5 months to get them out. They had been worked on long before this Teru person was probably ever reached out for Pokimane's avatar. That does not mean, however, that they were conniving and plotting to steal the thunder or ride the attention wave into success, because it's extremely unlikely. These avatars aren't popped out in an instant. These take days, weeks, or even sometimes months. It's not physically possible that when the Hololive EN was announced, that a couple of days later someone would churn out Poki's VTuber avatar in order to mooch off their success. It's just not possible. Pokimane's VTuber avatar has also F all to do with Hololive English. They are two completely separate realms. I want to circle back to Athena's comments on her tweet really quick. I too at first assumed the worst in this situation. I was like, great, an IRL streamer who presumably has nothing to do with the VTubing fandom and anime in general is trying to infiltrate. A lot of people felt the same, feeling like this kind of streamer isn't welcome in this community. What people fail to realize, and past me as well, is that Hololive, solo English anime VTubers, and people who make content with fictional representation of themselves are completely different fandoms entirely. Donald Trump could make a VTuber avatar tomorrow, and it's not going to change anything about Hololive or English anime VTubers. Pokimane being a VTuber is not going to do any sort of encroaching on the VTuber community the way people think that she is. You're still going to be able to simp for your waifu Pekora with nothing affected. Peko. What nobody's saying that I'm going to take a step and say, and probably maybe get hate for, is that you VTubers who are having a problem with this, largely, are salty. You're jealous. Someone is taking the attention away from you. How dare someone with a large following outside of the community come out with an avatar? Forget gatekeeping, because this isn't just gatekeeping. This is greed. It's a fragile ego. To them, they may have spent hundreds of dollars and months upon months to debut some character that they then have to work hard and stream and act with, months of scraping the bottom of the barrel for the tiniest crumb of clout, interacting with as many English VTubers as possible, trying to climb that ladder into popularity and success. Then you see someone who is presumably a millionaire now stepping onto the same playing ground as you. And how dare she? Now you have to work even harder, and you know you're gonna lose those precious simp dollars and viewers because Poki has arrived. And you know she's going to have success despite not knowing a lick of any of the history and hard work a lot of you had to do. She probably doesn't know all of the hours you spent watching Hololive, the lore to each popular character like you do. How dare she? Right? No, that's an incredibly selfish way of thinking. Like, sure, it sucks, but that's the reality. These VTubers have gotten to sit comfy in this niche community, being pretty successful because of how new it is, but it's growing rapidly, exponentially. Each day, there is more and more competition. They don't like that. They don't want people making their once small, easy to succeed in playing field to expand with tons and tons of new players every day. That's just how it is. This isn't going to stay small forever. Absolutely not. Like Pokimane said on her accounts, and I agree with, this is the future. More and more people are going to become VTubers, and that's just fine. Not all of them are going to be anime characters. So the internet is calling the VTuber community toxic, saying they're gatekeeping. In some ways, yes. In other ways, I definitely understand. You don't want someone in a completely different area of the internet intruding on what's unique and what feels like yours, claiming it to be theirs. It feels like stealing in some ways. Like their work isn't worth it. But here's the thing. There's all kinds of music, for instance. Trap, EDM, country, anime remixes, all kinds. And each kind has their own fan base. Typically, you don't see country fans interact with, say, rock fans. It does happen on occasion, but country music existing, for instance, doesn't threaten rock, and vice versa. Mainstream music collabing with underground Japanese music doesn't ruin Japanese music or take away the lore, fandom, or background that was already there. Pokimane as a VTuber can and will exist completely separately from VTubers like myself, more than likely. I highly doubt you're going to see for instance, like Pokimane x Nyanner's stream collab, for instance. It is possible though. When and if it does happen, it's not going to destroy what VTubers have. Instead, it brings more eyes in that direction. More people to support, more people who may convert into liking your style of VTuber. And I get that it feels like someone is stealing the attention away from you guys, but you need a good hard self-check. You're going to have competition. Your competition is going to increase. You cannot expect to sit on a pedestal like you have forever. It's competitive, it's hard work, and sometimes it only gets harder. You have to buckle up and accept that hard work. If you don't like other VTubers starting and existing in other sides of the internet and you think that it's going to ruin you or your fandom, maybe VTubing isn't for you. There's also been some tea about her kind of smack talking It's a Gundam avatar. In a clip, she says something along the lines of, how am I supposed to take you seriously when you're behind a VR machine or whatever first, she said, with her turning around and doing the same exact thing herself. What a lot of people are missing, however, is the context. It's a Gundam in the video she was reacting/responding to. He was criticizing people for their physical appearances, typically seen as a not cool thing to do when you yourself are not presenting your physical appearance. Regardless, it does seem to come across as hypocritical when you don't know that context. One thing that people aren't talking about is this VTuber avatar is not meant to replace the previous face cam Pokimane. It is there to replace on days where she doesn't feel like turning on the camera. That's exactly why I have my VTuber avatar. It's a lot of work and can be expensive to get a good cam, lighting, and putting on makeup and dressing up every single time you stream. But it can be really boring, and there's definitely a noticeable dip in views when you don't have the cam on. But also at the same time, it's generally seen as a no-no when some days you don't want to do all that work. You don't want to put on the makeup. You just want to throw on your PJs and stream looking like you just rolled out of bed. That's unprofessional. Personally, I also don't want my face to be like the representation of what I do online. I want my art to be. So when I don't feel like turning the cam on and still want to give viewers something to watch and interact with as if they're really interacting with somebody, like a personality, I have my live 2D avatar, my VTuber avatar. I feel for my streams that the VTubing fits it well, and I feel like it works for me. Feels right for me. I don't blame Poki for doing the same. She also has made sure to encourage others to check out other VTubers and the amazing creators behind it all. So she's not trying to claim anything or run off with anything. So at first I was like, yikes Poki, mayhaps don't. But you know what? My mind has been thoroughly changed. It is kind of gatekeepery to not allow her to dip her toes in VTubing. You can have other critiques of her, which is perfectly fine, but the anime EN VTubers of Twitter do not own VTubing. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Sorry if that was a little feisty. Off the VTuber avatar goes, since most of my YouTube videos are VTuberless. It's just my streams. But thank you guys so much for watching. Special thanks to patrons Naomi Sushi, Vampire Angel, Jennifer M, and Senpai Arts. I have recently changed my tiers so that there's only a $5 and a $10 and merged all rewards into those boys so you guys can get everything for just those two amounts. This includes special work in progress shots, full PSD files of my finished artworks with all the layers included, discount codes for Etsy and commissions, voting, Discord benefits, early access at the $5 level, and walkthrough images, GIFs, videos, tutorials, video topic requests, and special features at the $10 level. Benefits for those will now be uploaded every Friday. I will be reopening Etsy soon as well, and have updated my commissions. Links will all be in the description below and on cards in the video in the upper right hand corner. Commissions and other projects processes will now be available to peek at a Trello link also in the description. Sorry, that's probably a lot. Oh, one more thing. I now have channel membership here on YouTube, so I was thinking of maybe doing a special request drawing streams for members. Let me know if you're interested in the comments below. If you have no dull hairs to spare but still want to support, that's totally cool. Give me a follow over at my social media as linked below. Let's close this boy out with some art features. These artists will be linked below. Please check out their social media, give them a like or a follow. To be featured or just be a part of the community in general, please head over to our Discord. Thank you guys so much. I cannot possibly express all of my thanks. Take care of yourselves, be happy and healthy, and catch you next time.